Have you been thinking about it? You're not quite sure what to do? Do you have a great job? And you say, I know I have the income. However, I don't really have the down payment. I have a little of it, but I don't have enough. But you know what? My mom, my dad, my sister, my brother, my cousin, they told me that if I did really well and if I could come up with a certain amount, they would match it or they would double it. And they said they wanted to give me some money. You are in luck because today we're going to talk about gifts from other family members, friends, cousins, relatives, whoever it may be, your employer that may want to see you succeed and help you purchase a home. So those are the questions that we're going to answer today. Welcome to Sundays with M&Ms. I am Teresa Miller, and I am so excited that you have tuned in for another session. We're going to talk about down payments. And down payments are one of the largest hurdles when you're purchasing a home that you're going to encounter. You say, I've got good credit. I have a great job. I've been on my job for 2 or more years. I have all of my documentation, my taxes in order. Everything is good, but I don't have enough down payment. So I know you're wondering, can you use a gift as a down payment on a house? And the answer is yes. If you have a parent or sibling or a grandparent or whoever that might offer to give you funds for your mortgage expenses, you might be thinking that, as long as I have the money when we close escrow, I should be great, right? Well, not exactly. When you work with me and when we do our buyer's consultation, I'm always telling you to disclose. Make sure that your lender knows everything. So even though the lenders do allow gift funds, they also require the mortgage applicant to disclose the sources of these funds. Remember, when you are applying for a mortgage, the lender needs a clear picture of your finances. This includes information about your employment, your income, your assets. This is why the lender is going to ask you a copy of your most recent bank statement. And the reason why they do that is because they want to know that you have enough funds to secure your mortgage, whether it be in the form of your closing costs, your down payment, even having the ability to make the first couple of months of mortgage after you close escrow. And that's why they asked you for all of that information. But sometimes a family member offers to pay those expenses in the form of a gift, and it's perfect. So the first question is, let's talk about who can give a gift for a down payment. Now, you know that you can use these gifts and you can use these funds for your down payment, but who can those funds come from? Donor requirements by a way of a lender and the mortgage program. Some of these programs only allow gifts from a blood relative. For example, I could give money to my daughters, or I could give money to my grandchildren. That could be the situation. So to get the most accurate information, I want you to talk to your lender. I'm giving you a full disclosure. I do not do mortgages. I sell real estate, just in case you didn't know. So for 100% accurate advice, talk to your lender. With that being said, let's continue. Conventional loans through Fannie Mae or Freddie Mac, those are the big people who back the loans. The gift must come from a family member by blood, marriage, adoption, or legal guardianship. Your fiance and your domestic partner also count as family. For FHA loans define family just a little bit differently. That could be a cousin, it could be a niece, it could be a nephew. They don't really count under the normal family guidelines, but they do allow gifts from close friends. That can include extended family, including cousins, nieces, nephews. FHA also allows gifts from employers, labor unions, organizations, and charitable organizations. Did you know that? VA loans, they have the least amount of restrictions. Anyone that you have a relationship can provide you with a down payment. It can be a gift, but the caveat is that they cannot be an interested party. Which example, they cannot be your real estate agent. I can't give you money. Sorry, I can't do it. The law doesn't allow me. Another question is, can the mortgage gift be repaid? So check this out. If the mortgage gift of the person that's giving it to you, if they're expecting it to get that money back, then guess what? It's not a gift, it's a loan. And loans are required to be counted and factored into your debt to ratio income. So make sure that the person that's giving you the money, they're truly giving you a gift. And that's one of the things you want to make sure. So to ensure that you actually can afford your mortgage payment, withholding information about your down payment sources could put your loan qualification at risk. Even more importantly, it's considered mortgage fraud, which is illegal. So we don't want you to do any of those things. So now that we know that you can receive a gift, that you can receive this gift from which family members, you know which loans require which type of family members, and now that you know that it has to be a gift and not a loan, let me tell you the documentation. So let's say young family is going to buy a house. Let's take my daughters. My daughters is going to purchase a home, and they say, Mom, can you help me out with some money? I say, sure, daughters, I'm going to give you this money. I call the lender calls me. We all agree. What do I need to do in order to give those funds to my daughter? Step number one, they need to see my bank statement. They need to see that I have the money in the bank, and they need a copy of the check and the buyer's deposit slip. So I'm writing out the check to my daughter, and we have their deposit slips with my check. They take that check, they go to the bank, they deposit the check in the bank, they get a receipt. The receipt that they get, they need that receipt. They need to provide that receipt to the lender. So now I wrote the check, I deposited it into my daughter's account. Daughter shows the funds that it's in there, and they have the transaction history. What's next? Next, they need to see that that money came out of my account. So now they had the first bank statement showing I had the money. Now they need another bank statement or a transaction record showing that the money was taken out of my account on XYZ day. And they need a copy of the settlement statement showing that that money was deposited into my daughter's account. We have to have that paper trail. So let me restate. Let me go back and say that again. Step number one, they need my bank statement showing I have the money. Step number two, they need to see where I withdrew the money. Step number three, they need to see that I deposited the money into my daughter's account. Step number four, they need to see the deposit in my daughter's account. And step number five, they need to see the transaction record showing the money came out of my account. And you may say, well, why do we have to do all of this? This is to make sure that the money has transferred legally. Lo and behold, I was selling some secret, unknown, underground stuff, whatever that stuff is, and I got that money that way. Well, that's not legal. And because most loans are FDIC insured, federally insured, everything has to be legal. And besides, you want to be above board anyway. So that's the next large part of gifting. You say, okay, that's not too bad. I can do that. Not quite finished. You need to write a letter now. Now the letter needs to say, I, Teresa Miller, I am giving this money to my daughters. I need to talk about the dollar amount, the date that the funds were transferred, my signature, my statement that no payment is expected. I'm giving this money, my name, my address, my phone number, my relationship, all of that information, and my complete address. I need to make sure that I show all of that information. Now, let's continue. The next thing that we do, there's a couple of things. So this is why this is so important. The next thing that we're going to do, are there any restrictions for the down payment gift amounts? Now, different programs, depending on the type of loan that you are receiving, either you're having a down payment assistance program, that might come into a factor. So here I'm getting into chartered territory. This is where I would tell you to speak to the lender so that you can find out for sure specific requirements. But the most important thing is that you have to have a paper trail. You must be able to show that paper trail. Is super important, super important. Now, are there any gift tax consequences? The person receiving the gift, so my daughters who received this gift, they will not be responsible for any tax liability. But the gift giver, which is me, I may be liable if the amount exceeds the gift tax exclusion limit. So now, as of 2020, as an individual, I can give up to $15,000 without a tax penalty. That means a married couple filing jointly can give up to $30,000 and won't be required to report it to the IRS. So that's something to consider if you're looking for ways to donate and give money. Give it to your children. If your children are doing what they need to do and they're handling the business and they're looking and striving at buying their first home, you can give it to them without incurring a penalty. So here's a couple of do's and don'ts, and I'm going to leave you with this. First of all, be upfront with your mortgage lender if you're receiving a down payment gift. Don't tell your lender you're receiving a gift if there's an expectation to pay back the funds. Keep a paper trail of the funds that are changing hands. Don't fail to disclose a gift you've already received. If you have received a gift, and if that gift has been in your account, let's say for more than 90 days, there is a possibility that you may not have to show the paper trail. But you know what? To be on the safe side, I would do it anyway. You've got nothing to lose. The money is already there, and they're not going to tell you to give it back. Here's another do. Make sure the gift is coming from an allowed relationship depending on your loan. And don't forget about federal gift tax exclusion limits. We're going to wrap it up right here with this. That is one of the most challenging questions I come across when I'm working with buyers who are looking to purchase a home and they're receiving gifts. So I wanted to give you a clear expectation. So if you're thinking about that, now you have a path, you have a plan on what to do. I hope you find these Sundays with M&Ms helpful. What I want you to do, what you can do for me, if you are watching on Instagram, I want you to click the link in my bio and I want you to subscribe to my YouTube channel. I am 6 subscribers away from reaching my goal. I would be so honored if we could just wrap those 6 people up today. I think the last time I checked, I may be at 5. If you're watching on YouTube Live, if you're watching on Facebook Live, if you're watching on Twitter, LinkedIn, or even if you're watching it later on, take the time, click the link that I will post in the comment section, go to my YouTube channel and subscribe. There you will find other helpful tips that I bring every Sunday. If you want to have a conversation with me, if you just want to talk, I'm thinking about buying, but I don't know where to start. I'm thinking about selling and I don't know what to do. The market is fantastic now, so give me a call. My number is right here on the screen. My number is 310-713-8459. Thank you for sharing this time with me. I'm very excited that we get to spend these Sundays